about going out for orientation, and I imagine that means Warner Enterprises in Indianapolis. Okay, the hotel is really nice. You do need to make sure you pay attention to the video that I put in where I talk about bringing stuff. So I'll talk about that part first. Alright, so when you get ready to go, you want to have one bag. One big bag, and that's it. You don't want it to be, you want it to be a soft bag too if you can. That way, if you have to put it somewhere where you got to put your feet on it or something, that you can. You need another smaller bag within that bag. That bag you'll use when you go to the showers. That way, when you go to the shower, you know, you got your little bag and you don't have to bring, you just take in that outfit that you're going to put on when you go to the shower. Showers on the road are going to cost you about $10. Food on the road is going to cost you about, just about the same, $10. Try to make sure if you eat that, when you eat, try to make sure when you eat, you're counting your pennies. Make sure you're paying attention to your budget. Even when you're out there, you're going to the Indianapolis terminal. If you come out the Indianapolis terminal and walk down the street, there's a Kmart down there you can go shopping at. And while you're waiting on your trainer, get dry food. And the dry food you get, you'll be able to take out with you when you're with your trainer. Just make sure it also fits in that one bag. You don't need 8 bags, you don't need 10 bags, you don't need 15 bags, you need one bag. I just got up, guys, so I'm sorry I'm a little tired, but so, and that is the most important thing in the world, to just have just enough what you need. You need, and I have a video. I'm gonna cover this, but I'm gonna put a link in the video somewhere, where that link will take you to the part where I talk about what you need. The only thing you need a lot of in that bag: washcloths, underwear, t-shirts. You want to learn to dress in layers. Don't bring a lot of heavy clothes. Bring one heavy coat, and then bring stuff that enhances the coat. So like, bring a heavy coat, bring a nice hoodie. You need 2, maybe heavy hoodies. That's about it. You want everything to fit in one bag, and you also have to remember January and February. Before you know it, it'll be March. And, you know, weather changes. What if you go to California? What if you go towards the Mexico border? Just because it's cold up north does not mean those places are cold. You want to think also about rations. Bring yourself dry foods, things that you won't eat up. Keep yourself some food in the truck. You might get stuck in a Denver mountain during a snowstorm. You want to have food. Trainer might be selfish, not share anything with you. Soups. Soups are great. I eat soups sometimes on the road. I love packaged tuna. That's great. You know, try to keep a lot of protein type of stuff. Also, you know, get you some snacks, you know, some cookies or whatever. But you want to have stuff that you can eat. Not going to make you too big. You want to get like I am. You know, you want to keep something that's, you know, that'll last, that you won't eat up immediately. And that's as far as food. And it'll, again, if you go to that Kmart down the street from the hotel that you're going to, it will keep you ahead of the game. Don't get caught up in that calling for ordering food and stuff, man. That stuff adds up. I mean, it does. It's not worth it. You can go down the street, get you a, you know, some, you know, couple. You will have a refrigerator in your room, so I think you have a. I can't. Whoa, let me back up. I think you have a refrigerator in your room. That is not always a guarantee. I have been to hotels where even when I had a refrigerator the last time I was there, I didn't have a refrigerator the next time I went there. So don't count on a refrigerator being there. And not all trainers have refrigerators. That's why you want stuff that is dry. So that's the part about what to bring and stuff. And again, I'll include the video that covers that. Now, the next part is orientation itself. In orientation, what you need a book to take your notes. And also make sure you bring a sheet. You need a sheet for your bed with your trainer. Make sure you bring a sheet. That is extremely important. When I say sheet, you need a good sheet for your bed. The reason you need a good sheet, because the trainer is not a hotel. He does not provide one. So definitely bring your sheet. Okay, next part. After you bring your sheet, and everything else I just told you. You go on orientation, you got to be up in the morning, make sure you're there on time. Do not mess around, they're not playing. If you don't get up, you're about to make your life at orientation hell. So just make sure you get up in the morning. You're going to have a morning meeting, and then after you have your little morning meeting, and people are going to start going out on the bus. People are going to start going out in the van. Go to the hotel. You go to the orientation. That'll be at the terminal. The terminal is very small, but it's a nice little terminal. And you go in there with other students or other drivers, and you guys will start orientation. The key thing you need to pay attention to is everything. But the most important thing is to make sure you do all the assignments as you complete orientation. The first day, you need to complete your healthcare. You need to complete your CBTs, computer-based training. Computer-based training is extremely important because, one, it's helpful, extremely helpful information. The other part is that if you don't complete it, they will make you wait to get a trainer until you get it done, or test out until you get it done. So it's worth sitting there, getting the computer-based training done all the way until maybe the last van goes out back to the hotel. So just make sure you do your computer-based training. They'll explain what that is, and you'll understand. But if you don't complete that, if let's say you come back after your training and you test out, what ends up happening is now you screwed yourself. You're gonna have to make that up, and you got more computer-based training to do. Foolish. Make sure you pay attention in your login class, but you will be able to master that. Everyone in the login class doesn't get it the first time, but they do get it the second time on the road with the trainer. So you will get it just through repetition. As far as insurance, most guys, make sure you bring all the stuff you need for insurance. A lot of guys don't bring the stuff for their wife or their kids, medical stuff, medical history stuff, all that kind of stuff. I know you talk to the guy, the recruiter, and they don't mention that stuff sometimes. And I've had guys who find out, oh, I need my marriage license and stuff like this. Sometimes they say you do, sometimes they say you don't. Make sure you bring that stuff. All right, most of the orientation is, some of it's a blur and some of it you'll get. Just pay attention to the roads and the safety stuff. Road and safety is one of the safety. And the road stuff is the most important. So try to, if you don't get anything out of it, try to get that stuff so you and the insurance information so you get all the things that you need to get, because the road stuff is going to help you on the road, and the safety stuff is going to help you avoid having conversations with safety. Safety is a part of management at most trucking companies. They call it safety. And the insurance part, that's the benefits to your job. So you want to make sure you pay attention to that part. I don't like riding around with personal stuff on me, like my marriage license, my birth certificate, things like that, my social security card. So if I were you, I would call up FedEx after orientation. I don't need these things anymore. Call up FedEx, put them in a FedEx envelope, and send them to your house. Overnight them to your house. Make sure it gets delivered when your wife is home and everything. That's what I do. And the reason I do that is so I'm not riding around with it. That way, if I come out with my trainer and my truck is gone, he didn't get all my personal information. Your wallet, from now on when you're on the road, does not leave your pocket. Let me repeat that. Your wallet, from now on, because you're on the road, does not leave your pocket. So if you out there on that road, you're not at home, you need to always lock doors, you need to always keep your wallet in your pocket, and you need to always have your ID and your medical card on you. Always. Those are the most important things, because if somebody steals those things, they now have your social security number, plus they have your license number. You don't want that. Make sure you get your actual complete license. They're going to want you to have your actual complete license, not the temporary. If you have the temporary, when your temporary gets ready to expire, or a week or 2 weeks before, or sometimes it could be a month before it expires, they will start putting pressure on you to get that full hard copy license. So make sure you get that, or when you go home in the middle of take your break, that you get it. That's extremely important. The other key thing, make sure you get all the information about student driver managers, about your trainer, and when you should get assigned a trainer, Who do you complain to if the trainer is a bad person? Usually that's your student driver manager. And the most important part is when you get on that truck, make sure you get all his information, his name, his full name, first and last. Make sure you get his truck number, his account that he's on, the account that he's on. You want to get his license plate number. You want to write these things down. It's very, very important, because if when you give these things to your wife or your husband or whoever, when you give them to her or him or whoever, they're going to have the ability to contact you, because your wife can call the company and they'll send messages on the Qualcomm. But easily, I'm sure you have a cell phone and you should be able to take care of that part of it. But in an emergency situation, and a lot of times you're going to find, depending on what type of cell phone service you have, you may find out that the Qualcomm might, work a little better. You can't really, they do say you can send emails. I've never done that. Because remember, the company is watching your emails. You're using their system, they're looking at it. But sometimes your cell phones go out and emergency may happen at home and you can get a message on the Qualcomm. Qualcomms are pretty dependable, not everywhere. That's really it, all I can think about as far as orientation. Heads up, just make sure you do those CBTs. So many guys will do everything else. And again, pay attention to everything. They're going to do a map class. Pay attention to the map reading class. That way, when you get in with your trainer, you have some knowledge of it. Doesn't mean you're going to be an expert, but you'll have some knowledge of it, and then you'll be able to learn even more. So what they do in orientation is try to get you to a ground level starting position to become a Werner employee. And it puts you in a great position if you pay attention to every single thing. But try to make sure you get all the things you have to fill out, your tax information, your insurance information, all these things turned in. And if they, you're going to get, when you go out with your trainer, try to make sure that, I give you a good tip. Any payroll questions or insurance information, insurance stuff you have, ask him his opinion, but always remember, call the department. Rules change every day, and sometimes a trainer doesn't have all the information. So you might want to say to your trainer, what do you think of the insurance? Or how much is this or that? But you don't want to ask sometimes a direct question and expect the trainer to have the best answer towards that. He'll have the best answer when it comes to driving, not when it comes to insurance information. Insurance changes all the time, and often it's even different for people who get hired at different times. So